And Ben, just go away. And also, everybody, we do remember that Ben started the plot to ruin Serena's life. I know that Serena's cool with that, but can everyone else, fucking remember that this guy in jail was not a good person? Oh, I met some bad people in jail, but now I'm out.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, the rookie, what are we calling me now in season 4, Leif?
I don't know, but I think I'd rather live in a halfway house than with someone who only halfway trusts me.
Easy thing to say from your $2,000 suit. So here's the deal, folks.
What, the guy in a $6,000 suit, Michael?
So here's the deal, folks. Leif's been watching Gossip Girl since the very beginning, and I'm tuning in for the first time. And together, we are your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serves up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fandom moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a seat for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab your mimosa or a cup of coffee or roll something that you stole from Nate and Chuck, and let's go ahead and get into this.
Let's get into this, and happy Thanksgiving to those of you who have celebrated it, and welcome to the holiday season. It is December 1st when you're listening to this.
Okay, yes. My birthday's tomorrow then. Yeah, welcome, and we are... Yeah, like you said, in the holiday season now.
Yep, and it's a winter on the show as well.
Yes, January.
Yes, almost February.
Yes.
We are here, of course, to talk about Season 4, Episode 13, Damien Darko. Original air date was January 31st, 2011. And, of course, was based on the movie Donnie Darko, directed by Richard Kelly, starring Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, okay.
Came out in 2001.
I forgot that Maggie Gyllenhaal was in that too. I remember Jake Gyllenhaal because that was one of his first movies too, I think.
Pretty early on, yeah.
Yeah.
This episode was written by Layla Gerstein, who is back. She did in season 2. Her first episode was Southern Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and then in season 3 she did Rufus Getting Married, The Last Days of the Disco Stick, and The 16-Year-Old Virgin.
They aren't getting better. They are not getting any better.
And this episode was directed by Jeremiah Chechnik. This is his third and final episode of directing Gossip Girl.
I'm not upset about that either.
Previously did It's a Dad World and Goodbye Columbia.
I did love Dad World.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Goodbye Columbia was that the key party or was that the one after it?
That was a couple after. That was the one after Eva leaves and Chuck's super pissed off at Blair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stopping her at every stop.
Right, yeah, that one had some funny moments, but was overall not a great episode.
Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
Here we go. In its 4th season, Gossip Girl has developed an almost Shakespearean rhythm. There are certain constants. There will be double entendres from Chuck, reference-heavy barbs from Blair, in-jokes about the Brooklyn milieu, and each scene, like clockwork, Serena van der Woodson's breasts will appear draped in different outfits as regular as the Law & Order Chukung. As far as plot, we know by now that there will always be a misunderstanding or a misreading of motives, that someone will be betrayed, and that everyone will come together at a fancy dress party at which much is revealed And we've learned that as soon as someone demands someone disappear, as Ben told Damien in last night's episode, we're definitely going to see more of them. But despite all of the melodrama, Gossip Girl often contains important nuggets of truth about New York and life.
Indeed.
Sure.
Very Shakespearean.
Very. Although Shakespearean is always written in 5 acts, whereas they tend to write in 3 and an epilogue. So it's actually much more of a traditional theater, American theater. I think that's American theater.
Well, we get into Act 1 with a Gossip Girl monologue. Burr, Upper East Siders. It's cold outside. As February approaches, we need to find ways to fight frostbite. Some keep warm the old-fashioned way. Some seek comfort of loved ones. And some try to keep away the gloom by painting things bright. Chuck and Raina are waking up and agree to keep it clean in business and dirty in between the sheets.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny because already it's like, well, we know where this is going. Well, we know that we know where this is going. Like Vulture said, we see where there's going to be a misunderstanding here.
Yeah. Eric texts Serena inviting her to lunch, but she leaves him on red.
Yeah, of course. We're Eric.
Yeah. Serena is much more concerned with discussing her breakfast with Ben. Blair is too happy to judge right now because she is starting a new mystery internship.
Why won't you tell Serena? Interesting. But obviously, plot-wise, you can't tell her because she'll know where Dan is going. But, yeah, okay. I should just say now I hated this episode. I usually say it earlier or I wait, but I fucking hated this episode.
Yeah.
So, okay. I got it out.
Dan calls Lily to thank her for getting him an internship. She invites him to a celebratory breakfast. Dan declines because, just like Blair, he is going into the office early.
I know I see it all the time on this show, but when they took that shot, when they had the shot of Lily and Rufus at the table eating, and the table was like in a different location than it usually is, I felt. Because it was closer to the windows, it seemed.
Maybe the caterers brought their own table.
Right. Well, I was sitting there just thinking, like, you have 2 people, a whole cake, like 4 bagels, and whatever else they were actively eating. The amount of food waste that the Vanderwoodsons produce alone could feed half of New York. Like their brunches that they have when it'll be like 3 people and it'll be an entire spread.
Yeah. Indeed. They waste a lot of food.
Yes.
Lily and Rufus are having breakfast and Lily bemoans Eric and Serena still not talking to her even after she got Ben out on parole. Rufus points out that he will still have a criminal record.
I think Rufus is really interesting right now where he's like, okay, I love Lily. I love my wife, and she's fucking nuts, and she's not a great person. And so I need to find ways to rectify my conscience and maybe get her to hear some of what I'm saying to her. It's like, you did ruin the man's life, sweetie.
But then it does actually answer our question from last week that it is parole.
Yeah, that he's out on parole.
Ben and Serena are having breakfast at a cafe. Ben announces that he got a job offer up in Ithaca. Serena was hoping to spend some time with Ben, but he is leaving tomorrow. Serena hopes that they can keep in touch, but I'm pretty sure Ben is planning to ghost her. However, as Ben is leaving the diner, he sees a help wanted sign in the window and has second thoughts. Serena calls Rufus for a favor.
Ben, first of all, let her buy you breakfast. When he's like, oh, no, I got this time, you got last time. At the very beginning of the scene, it's like, Ben, she doesn't even know that things are paid for.
It's Dan all over again.
Yeah, it really is. And also this, like, I'm going to Ithaca, but I'm going to look at this help wanted sign. So clearly I'm not going to Ithaca. I'm just trying to ghost you.
But what is Serena's plan? He supposedly is getting a job to work on a farm. So her way to dissuade that is to allow him to garden at this
Yeah,
community garden.
yeah. Oh, he wants to farm? I know how he can farm here in New York.
It's like, okay, Serena.
My stepdad can help you local farm.
It turns out Dan and Blair were both fibbing about going to the office early because they were actually going to meet up for coffee and movie chat. They debate on which exhibit they should go to together, but neither reveals to the other what internship they got.
I thought this was cute. It was one of the highlights of this episode. The two of them who now have established these movie dates, who are now arguing over what movie to see. But they still have their passive-aggressive banter, but now it is so much more friendly and about something that they both love. So I just found this to be a great new step in their friendship.
Yeah. Damien sees Serena on the street and tries to apologize for his part in her getting drugged, but Serena basically tells him to fuck off.
Yeah, I didn't know when I sold someone ether that they were going to use it to knock someone out. Like, that's what ether's for. Why are you selling people ether? Why are you getting ether? Where are you getting ether from? Who still has access to ether?
But in all fairness, Serena's perfectly willing to forgive Ben and Juliet, who are like way more directly involved.
Right. Yes, the people that actually drugged her and actually like tried to ruin her life. And she's like, but Damien, your profession hurts people. It's like, yeah, ridiculous. And I'll also say once again, most of this episode, Damien isn't the bad guy here.
He's just doing his job.
He sold some shit to somebody who used it to try to hurt Serena, and that was shitty, and he feels bad that happened. But he's a drug dealer, and I'm not mad at people being drug dealers. Make them legal, and people wouldn't have to be drug dealers. Regulate the market, and people wouldn't have to do it.
Let's regulate the market on ether, folks.
Just regulate that ether market. I'm talking more about the recreational drugs that he sells. I'm definitely not advocating for less regulated ether. Let's make that clear.
Blair is meeting with her new boss at W Magazine. Blair thinks that she is a special little snowflake, but Epperly introduces her to the Blair Waldorfs of Princeton, Yale, Penn, and Parsons. Oh, and also the Blair Waldorf of NYU, a.k.a. Dan Humphrey.
Yes. I did like this scene. I liked most of the Dan Blair stuff relative to the rest of the episode. I found the other...
Yeah, it's the one bright spot.
Yeah, the other three plot lines were dumb and or boring. This one, even though this one I was annoyed by the end of it too, this one I did like Dan walking into this internship. I liked the whole like, you know, I see who you think you are, but all of these people are the Blair Waldorfs from their school. So you are not the only one. And what's funny is one of them, I think, is from Yale, right?
Yes. Yale, Princeton, Penn, and Parsons.
Right. So that should have been you, Blair, if you didn't fuck up going to Yale. So, or it would have been you from the NYU one if you didn't transfer out of NYU. You probably would have gotten over Dan. But I did like this. Also, the actor who plays Epperly was in a recent show called We Were Liars. I think that's what it's called. Which, good show. Check it out. It's like kind of a teen. It's also like a teen drama.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the first act break with Nothing Says January Like a Brand New Cold War. And we move into Act 2. Jonathan comes by the penthouse to drop off a book Eric left at school. Lily learns that Elliot broke up with Eric and that he didn't tell her about it. This really gets her worried because she thought Eric had stayed over at Elliot's house last night. The audience then finds out that Eric is at Damien's place.
And where'd this come from? You know, like the
last time they interacted, Eric was like totally hated him.
Yeah. And he left him, and so now Jonathan is coming to stop by to check on him. But also the whole like Elliot breakup thing. Like to me, it just says that Elliot got another job on another show. Because, like, why are we forcing plot shit on Eric, who is
well, because you're down 2 characters.
He's usually so much more plot proof than this. And I like when Eric is not plot proof, Eric is no longer the adult. And Eric has served this role on the show as being the only fucking adult, period. I'll Eleanor Waldorf and Cyrus, but I'm talking about the Vanderwoods and Humphreys. Eric is the most grown-up person on this show. So when you start giving him, even in this episode where he's the one doing something wrong and he comes back, he's like, yeah, but this is why, and I see the error of the ways. So I didn't like dragging him into...
You gotta give someone else the C plot.
Yeah.
You don't have Jenny, you don't have Vanessa.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Vanessa?
We did have Vanessa mentioned.
Yes, we did.
We did.
And she had dissed, too.
Yeah, she did get dissed. So we have that.
Yeah.
We'll always have that.
Yes.
We'll always have Vanessa sucking. But no, you're right. Give it to Connor.
Serena brings a bag of what looks like cleaning tools, but I'm guessing it's supposed to be gardening tools to Ben's halfway house. What was in that bag?
That's the thing, is that I didn't really know, but it's really funny that you point that out. That, like, because it would be like, what tools do I bring to somebody who gardens? Like, here's a mop, and here's a plunger.
And then you get the guy out front that I don't know if he's supposed to be creepy or helpful.
Yeah, how he approaches, and he's like, can I help you? Oh, your buddy's in a halfway house if he lives here. Yeah, this is a halfway house. Anything else I can do for you, ma'am?
So weird.
Like, the directing here is just all over the place.
In the middle of a meeting, Dan and Blair are bickering over which one of them should quit. When Blair tries to make Dan look bad, it backfires and gets him praise and network opportunities from Epperly.
Was it established at some point here that only one of these interns is going to remain?
Yeah, why can't they just work together?
Yeah, I never got the impression that this was a competition that someone had to remain.
Nah.
And I get that Blair is just always going to treat everything like a competition, but why are you sabotaging people? Why?
Blair had this image of her being the only intern.
You're right. Yes. But Dan could also just sit here and shoot that shit down, because Blair does listen to him. So if Dan was just like, hey, look, we both got this internship and we both can be here and do it because there's room.
But Dan is also just as competitive as Blair.
Yeah, he is. He is. And especially against an Upper East Sider, especially when he wants to have that Brooklyn bride.
Eric is surprised to find Lily and Jonathan waiting for him when he gets home. Eric will only reveal that he stayed with a friend and tells Lily that she is the reason why he keeps secrets. After Lily walks away, Jonathan asks Eric to be his date to the party tonight.
Yeah. Jonathan, invites himself to be Eric's date, which I thought was really weird too. It felt to me, I know that it's not what it was going for. I know that it was like a sweet Jonathan is trying to make up with Eric thing, but it really felt like Jonathan wanted to go to this party and Eric was his in. You know? Oh, but I hear you're going to a party tonight. Maybe you need support.
Back at W, Blair is successfully sabotaging all the other interns, all except for Dan, who knows all about her games by this point. Dan continues to outshine her at every turn, although Blair does win the battle of strength when she rips the stapler out of his hand.
What's that over there? It's Georgina's baby. That was funny. And I did, I liked the Dan walking in with the cappuccino decorated perfectly from the coffee shop. How he was just like, yep, Blair's going to do shit. Dan just stepped right in when she did.
Mm-hmm. Howie strolls into Chuck and Nate's suite wearing a $2,000 suit to tell Nate that he got a job at Thorpe Enterprises like the most natural thing in the world. He breezes past Chuck on his way out the door, and Nate and Chuck clearly believe Thorpe hired Howie for more than his shitty investment skills.
And Howie's like, I'm really good at what I do. And it's like, are you? Because the last time you did it, you wound up in jail. How good are you at what you do, Howie?
Dan and Blair are on the floor packing gift bags and still bickering. When they hear that Lynn Hirschberg dropped out, they agree to a fair competition on who can book the best replacement author, and the loser walks.
Is that the same author that we saw a few seasons ago from Dan?
Yes, Jeremiah Harris.
Jeremiah Harris is like a recurring character now, yes. Like in that sense. I thought so.
And he's played by the real life author James McElherney.
Yeah, because I remember the first guy they had. He's the first guy, and then they replaced him
with an actual like generic actor.
With an actor who the guy's like, you're gonna write for the New Yorker and do a spin piece on Bart Bass, or a smear campaign on Bart Bass. Intern in high school.
And I like that scene. So, how was your first day? Serena shows up at the penthouse to take Eric to lunch and hands Lily an envelope that was waiting for her out front. Lily clearly doesn't want to open the envelope in front of Serena and Rufus, but Serena forces the issue. Looks like Lily tried to pay Ben to stay away from Serena, but he returned it.
Loved this. This was like, well, we don't need to open this now. Why not, Mom? It's nothing. I'm sure there's nothing. I don't even know what's in here. And she just grabs it and opens it. And I love how like Rufus is like,
I thought you were going to get him a place to stay. Well, $30,000 can get you a place to stay.
Yeah, 30 grand is not going to ruin his life. Especially in 2010. Like that would have gone a lot further. But I also love how Rufus is like, I gotta go for a walk. I've got to go reconcile some more. I've got to go appease my conscience somehow.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the next act break. Seems Serena's getting frosty with her mother over an envelope of cold, hard cash. Looks like not everything or everyone's on sale this January. We move into Act 3. Lily tries to explain herself, but first Rufus, then Serena, then Eric all leave frustrated with Lily's machinations. Eric texts an unlabeled number, presumably Damon, asking to meet.
Yeah, I already mentioned about Rufus storming out. I forgot that was a cut.
At W, Dan and Blair brag about the accomplishments of their respective authors.
Another cute Blair-Dan scene. I really like their chemistry at all times.
Chuck goes to confront Raina, who assumes he's come by for some afternoon delight. However, he was really there to talk about Thorpe Enterprises hiring Howie and the potential conflict of interest. Raina denies everything. Chuck asks Raina to fire Howie as a favor before segueing into seduction. However, their requests clearly put Raina out of the mood.
Yeah. Chuck, you're literally mixing business and pleasure right here. Like, that's the whole thing you're not supposed to do. And also, what a dick. Can you fire my best friend's dad? Are you going to hire him? No. He could easily get his dad a job at Bass Industries to try to help save it if that were the case.
Serena and Blair are on the phone. They briefly touch on the latest Ben developments, but quickly move over to discussing Dan and how he is her biggest competition among the interns. Blair is tempted to get schemy, but Serena urges her to play fair.
I love that. Because there's also earlier on the Dan and Blair when they're like, no schemes, fair fight.
Yep.
And now Serena, and I hear it in your voice, B. I know what you're doing. This isn't just some other enemy. This is Dan. And I'm not going to take it easy on him just because you sometimes fall in love with him. There's also that bit that I think we bassed over that when he's supposed to find the shoes. Did that happen? That didn't happen yet, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened earlier, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when she says when he's in there for the yellow
Louis Vuittons.
Louboutins, and she hands him the mustard
Marc
Jacobs, and he calls. I didn't date Serena van der Woodsen for 2 years. You didn't date Serena van der Woodsen for 2 years, but not to know that was
on and off for 2 years.
Yeah, I guess.
But then Dan stops by and delivers Blair some lunch that is more to her refined palate. This act of kindness convinces Blair not to sabotage Dan.
And it was sweet because Dan comes up and is like, I know you won't eat here. I know you won't eat here. You're my friend, and I want to win this fairly. Eat. He's thoughtful. Dan has always been super thoughtful, though. Like, he'll always just show up with a gift like that.
And he also is aware of her issues.
That's true, too.
Ben is filling out an application at the diner, but hesitates when he gets to the question about felonies. Damien spots Ben and then walks over for a little reunion. After a little repartee, Dan accuses Damien of being the witness that spotted him with Serena at the B&B. Damien points out that he only told the truth and that he's with Serena's brother, and it might be a bit awkward to introduce him.
I like Damien here. I don't always hate Damien. I feel like they keep putting Damien in. They keep making him a fairly true neutral character, and then they'll just do something to make him shitty every now and then. But like here where he's like, yeah, I told them what I saw.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Damien. I've never blamed Damien. Like, yeah, I think that it came from a place of being in love with Serena, or at least being infatuated with Serena. He shouldn't have been across state lines with a minor. So I'm not mad at Damien for turning him in. Ben might be. I get that. But still, Ben, you're the asshole who's driving around with teenagers.
And Damien's line is, you say potato, judge says pedophile. And my friend just arrived and I would introduce you, but you may or may not have statutorily raped his sister, and it might be a tad awkward.
Yeah. The way that he just stabbed his way out of that conversation was so perfect. And like, no lies, right? He probably doesn't want to see you either.
Dan is the last intern left at W, and Epperly commends him on his work today. When Epperly mentions Blair's sabotage attempts, Dan defends her. However, Epperly does get in his head a bit, and as she walks away, Dan decides to sabotage Blair's author.
Dan, it never, ever works out for you. Other people have schemed and gotten away with it. You have not. It has always blown up in your face because it's not in you. Stop.
Also, even if Blair told Epperly that he sabotaged her, why would Epperly even care?
Yeah.
Because he got an author anyways.
Yeah.
He should have just let her told him, and he would have won. It would have been the Blair Waldorf way.
Yeah.
But he would have won.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you mean later? Like, why even admit it?
Well, no, just let Blair go tell Epperly that he sabotaged her.
Oh yeah.
Why would Epperly even care?
Yeah.
She got mad because they were an embarrassment at the party.
Yeah. True.
And this is what Gossip Girl has to say about it. Careful, D. It's flu season, but nothing's more contagious than mistrust. We go into Act 4. Eric is with Jonathan at the party, and he spots Rufus without Lily, who is sulking from earlier. Rufus needed to get out. Eric totally gets it and figures it's a shit on Lily party until Rufus steps in to defend her. Jonathan brings over drinks.
Rufus, let the kid vent a little more here, and it's shitty too. At the same time, I also get the instinct to, when someone talks shit, to then come back and be like, well, here's the other side of it. Because Rufus really is trying to maintain a family here. Mm-hmm. So I get that too.
After Rufus leaves, Eric then ditches Jonathan when he sees Damien at the party with some model types.
Yeah.
Just dealing drugs right out in the open.
Going to main parties, dealing some drugs. That has been his MO all along.
Yeah. Blair is working the door and greets Chuck Bass entering San's guest.
It was so cute. And him, the way that he looked at her with pride and admiration for her working her way through this. And it didn't go unnoticed by her. It was very sweet. And it reminded me of those episodes when they were together, but they didn't have an episode together, and they would just kind of cross paths briefly. And I liked how they played this scene. It was very sweet.
Ben shows up at the party to let Serena know that he saw Eric with Damien. Serena spots Jonathan and asks him about Eric. Jonathan said he disappeared. We also learned that not even Serena knew about Eric getting dumped.
Ben, that could have been a text. Hey, I saw your brother with Damien Dalgard.
Does he have a cell phone?
I don't know. Did Serena throw it away before? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
He just got out of prison.
Yeah. He had 30 G's. He should have gotten a cell phone before he sent that back. Here is 29,000 of the 30,000 you sent me. I got an iPhone. In 2011. 2010? 2011.
Blair is waiting for her author to arrive. Dan, now at the party, walks up and accuses Blair of breaking the treaty. Just then, Jeremiah Harris shows up. Epperly is impressed, and Blair knows she was betrayed. OMG, I was just poleaxed by a poor person.
Yeah.
Chuck finds Raina with a date who quickly excuses himself. Raina is completely over Chuck already. Chuck says it's just business now, and Raina questions even having that anymore.
Yeah, Chuck, you came in like an asshole, and maybe you also shouldn't be dating the person who's trying to take over your company.
Yeah.
Like Howie, when
Pretty hot, though.
Yeah, like when Howie's like, did Howie already confront Nate about it?
Nah.
Okay. It is pretty hot, though.
Ben and Serena spot Eric and Damien doing what looked like a drug deal. Damien is able to confuse the situation by making it look like he and Eric were hooking up. Damien brushes by Ben and Serena to grab drinks.
Well played. Well played, Damien.
Surprised they bought it.
Yeah.
Wasn't very convincing to me.
No. Eric looked shocked.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, hey, babe, want me to go get you some drinks?
Blair chases Dan down and goes after him for his betrayal. Blair goes to tell Epperly about Dan's sabotage, but Dan grabs her arm to stop her. The two somehow end up wrestling each other to the ground in the middle of the party. Their boss's boss, Stefano, enters the party and steps over the two and poses for the cameras. Epperly, following behind them, tells them they are both fired.
Yeah.
So silly.
Dan goes full Goldberg. He gets the full Joe Goldberg face. That whenever he's caught in something and his eyes go wide, I can't divorce it from Joe Goldberg anymore. Whenever he's trying to explain his way out of something. Because, instead of it being, I dismembered my ex-wife, it's, I've
Played a little dirty. But it's still that same look in his face. Also, that is the actual Stefano. That person is playing himself, the head of W there. Hillary Clinton is one of my role models. I do not break treaties, you ass.
Yeah, I don't break treaties.
But I do protect borders.
Yeah, I do secure borders.
And this is what Gossip Girl has to say about the mess. Spotted. Dubious friends in definite hot water. Looks like W just let Dan and Blair both out in the cold. We move into Act 5. Howie is back at the Empire Suite because Raina outed Nate and Chuck's attempt to get him fired. Howie isn't too happy and says he would have never betrayed Chuck. Howie is hurt that Nate doesn't trust him anymore.
This episode does have a 5-act structure, doesn't it? That's interesting. That is Shakespearean.
They all do.
Did they all? I thought it was usually 3 acts and an epilogue.
Nah.
Am I missing that?
There's 4 commercial breaks, so 5 acts and an epilogue.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was always kind of piecing them.
I mean, it is kind of written in the 3-act structure.
Yeah, it feels like that's how it kind of feels to me.
But our television usually is written in 5 acts because it's
1 per commercial break, right? Yeah. Also with Howie. First of all, Howie, poor Howie, but I had something I was going to say about this. Oh, well, I'll save it with the postscript if I remember it.
Back at W, Dan and Blair are packing up their things, and Dan learns that Blair got the job based on hard work as opposed to him who got it through family connections. Dan apologizes, but is still surprised that Blair didn't try to sabotage him. She says she mistakenly thought their fake friendship might be a real one before storming off. Dan's face says he knows he fucked up.
And that's the other thing about Dan, is that Dan, when he fucks up, is going to own it as best he can. And I really like that. And I also did love this turntable of...
Well, the whole episode, Dan was acting like Blair, and she was being the more honorable one.
Yes, exactly. And there were like the Mark Jacobs thing. There was a couple of moments where Blair was doing Blair shit, but you're right. For the most part, Dan was the Nepo baby coming in and owning everything, and Blair was the one working her ass off to stay afloat.
Yeah.
So it was, which that's something about Blair throughout this series too, that these characters have everything, and they have everything that they could ever be given. But that's not what Blair wants. Blair has always wanted to work for a powerful position. And that is like an admirable thing about her. Where Serena is just living life a billionaire, Blair wants to be actively doing things.
Yeah. At the party, Serena questions Eric about Damien. Eric said he was once again all alone when Serena ran off to chase the judge, and at least Damien was someone to talk to. Ben gives Eric some solid advice, and Eric agrees to not see Damien anymore.
Who the fuck are you? Like, I loved Eric here. I loved how Eric was like, oh yeah, you're the guy that may not have slept with my sister, but just got out of jail for it, right? Like, how Eric just wasn't, but also like, Ben, who are you? You are just this guy who's like, hey, I'm going to now be your mentor that you just met 5 seconds ago.
He's just a natural teacher.
Yeah.
It's his passion.
I think I hate it because I would be the same guy. Because that's me. Without the going to jail for statutorily raping a student. That would never happen.
First of all, you couldn't drive long enough to get across state lines from the back.
I'd need to take too many breaks just to get there.
Yeah. Rufus walks up and is upset that Serena would bring Ben to the party and that he was at least partially responsible for what Julia did, which is valid. Serena defends Ben and goes off to fight him.
I had no problem with Rufus here, where he's like, do you ever think for a second that the person that did all that shit, that this guy may have been involved in it? And Serena doesn't say no, he's not. She's like, oh, well, he was so badly wronged. Now I have to go find Damien, who did a lot less to me, but I'm more mad about.
She's still mad that Damien turned her down when she was trying to seduce him.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that and he's like, thanks, I'm going to go see Jenny now.
Yep.
Because that's Serena's solution to everything. Honeypot.
And it usually works. Dan calls Epperly and says that he was 100% responsible for the fight at the party.
Yeah.
He made up for it.
Yeah, he always does.
Rufus finds Eric and asks if he was doing drugs. Eric doesn't deny it, but he's done with it now. He once again reiterates that Damien was someone to talk to.
Yeah. And here Rufus listens, Rufus doesn't come up and is like, and he's not like, how dare you? What are you doing? He's just, I know you're talking to Damien. I know what Damien does. Are you doing drugs?
Yeah, well, it's not Jenny.
Right. Well, I actually said that when I was watching. I was like, oh, Eric, he'll listen to you. You're not Jenny.
Serena finds Ben to apologize and says she still wants to be friends. Ben turns it around and says he recognizes that look in her eyes and he doesn't want none.
Yeah, I'm not here. I don't want you now. I didn't want you then, and I don't want you now.
Lies detected.
They're the right things to say. Now leave. Leave and go far away from all of them.
And this is what Gossip Girl has to say, though. Sorry, S. Looks like the only thing you'll be snuggling up with this winter are warm memories. And we move into the epilogue. Blair and Serena are eating breakfast in bed. Serena is upset that her feelings for Ben were unrequited. Blair is eager for revenge against Dan Humphrey. However, they are interrupted by a call from Epperly, who lets Blair know that Dan's confession and that Blair has work to do.
And gets called back into W. Good for Dan, good for Blair.
Rufus is walking with Ben on the street and apologizes for what Lily has done to him and tells him what Serena told him about how he helped Eric. Rufus then hands him a set of keys to the loft and invites him to move in.
Have you talked to Dan about this?
Nah.
Oh, hey, guy that just got out of jail, I'm going to give you a room with my son to go live with him now. Instead of renting you any other apartment in the whole goddamn city, because we can, I'm going to have you move in with my kid.
Fucking Rufus.
And of course, Dan will be like, okay, Dad. Oh, if this is what you think is best, Dad.
And then Serena's going to be over there banging Ben.
Exactly. With like Dan on the other side of the garage door that serves as a wall. And Ben, just go away. And also, everybody, we do remember that Ben started the plot to ruin Serena's life. I know that Serena's cool with that, but can everyone else like fucking remember that this guy in jail was not a good person? Oh, I met some bad people in jail, but now I'm out.
Nate tries to call his dad only to find out that he is checked out of his hotel room.
Oh, Howie, you fucking baby.
Speaking of Howie, he's meeting with Thorpe, who tells him he still has a job, and it looks like Howie's loyalty to Chuck is no longer an issue.
Nope. Nope.
Fair enough.
Yep, you can see that coming. Which also, Howie, like, your son's best friend is a fucking kid. You're mad about a 20-year-old. You dick.
I don't blame Howie.
I don't blame Howie, but he's also an asshole. I do blame Howie for being dumb. He is
he's
dumb.
getting played, but yeah.
Yeah. He's dumb and getting played.
But I don't blame him for no longer having loyalty to Chuck.
Yeah.
He tried to get him fired.
Yeah. He did.
And Chuck wants to be taken seriously as a businessman, so, well.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He should have hired Howie.
Yeah. Chuck goes to see Serena and apologizes for asking her to fire Howie. He asks for another chance, which, judging by her kiss, seems to have been granted.
Yeah, I love how she's like, I've got a man in a towel in the shower right now, so now's not a good time, but we'll talk. And gives him the kiss. And I love, because it's such a Chuck thing, too, to be like, I hear you. Oh, yeah, you've got one already in the chamber, and I'll catch you when you're free.
Should have went with the threesome.
Yeah. I mean, the show is so, they had the one, but it's so afraid of the throuple.
Blair, back at W, stares at Dan's name in her contacts list before telling Epperly that he was never really her friend.
And Epperly looks at her like, I know he's your friend. You like him.
Rufus calls Serena to tell her he offered Ben the apartment.
Great. Good job, Rufus.
At the diner, good guy Ben grabs Damien by the throat and pushes him up against the wall and threatens him to stay away from Serena and her family. Damien realizes that Ben does like Serena. After Ben walks away, Damien calls Eric and invites him to hang out.
This is the dumbest fucking scene in Gossip Girl so far, I think. The way that, Damien's walking down, he accosts. Ben's such a good guy. Then he accosts him and grabs him by the throat. You stay away from her. Man, it's because you like her. My feelings for her are none of your concern. Ben, go away. Go away. Oh, man. I'm so over the whole Ben thing, and I just feel like I have to buckle up because he's moving in with Dan now. How long is this shit going to go on? And now is it going to be like, oh, yeah, he was this really good guy, but prison changed him. And now he's on the fence and he's going to strangle people. But fucking hell, get out of here, Ben. Would I rather Aaron Rose than Ben?
I mean, yes.
Because, like, Aaron, at least we know is a creepy piece of shit.
Yeah, he's just a douchebag.
Yeah, he's just a douchebag. But Ben is just...
Bad news.
Yeah, I'm so over him. Like, Serena, he did try to ruin your life.
He's been here since episode 1. Pretty much.
I mean...
Maybe episode 2.
Ben has?
Yeah.
Since she showed up, he's been in jail pretty much. Yeah.
But how long? It's like the longest guest star arc ever.
Yeah, I know. Usually it's 3 and you're done. Oh, you're talking about this season he's been on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This season he's been on ever since the 2nd episode. Yeah. And yes, it is like the long. And so that's my other concern is this not a guest spot? Is he now a cast member, and is he Jenny's replacement? And
he's going to be a professor at Columbia.
Is he going to be a professor at Columbia so he can start dating Serena?
And this is how Gossip Girl ends the episode. This winter, even though we bundle up, a cold shoulder can freeze us out. Sometimes a ray of sun shines in and gives us hope. But on the Upper East Side, the slipperiest ice is usually right in front of us. XO, XO, Gossip Girl. That is our episode of what is coming next.
I still foresee a Blair Dan reconciliation of sorts. I feel like that's not over, that they need to have something come back around. There's going to be the whole Dan adjusting to living with Ben, which I could also see, and meaning Dan ends up starting to stay somewhere else more. I could just see that happening. Maybe with Blair, maybe back.
Well, yeah, if Serena's staying at the loft, there's an empty room at Blair's house.
Is Serena staying at the loft?
No, if she
ends up staying at the loft, yeah. Yeah, when she starts puppy dogging around, Howie's gonna fuck a lot of stuff up. I figure Howie is gonna really fuck things up for Chuck. Damien and Eric. Oh my God, it's so dumb. Because I almost like Damien being friends with Eric. Like I almost like that phone call at the fucking end when he's like, excellent. Like, hey Eric, you want to just hang out, you and me? No, as friends. Oh yeah, sure. Excellent. My plan is going as... It would be good for Eric to have a friend. And Damien... It's just so fucking forced and dumb, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something with Damien and Eric. But maybe Damien goes to jail in the end of this. I don't know.
Let's get into segments. This week in fandom, we travel in the Wayback Machine to the Television Without Pity forums from 2011.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
Overall reaction, pretty boring episode outside of Dan and Blair.
Yes. It wasn't just boring, it was annoying. Like, there were parts that I was, like, annoyed with the writing and directing.
Unlike you, they are excited about the prospect of Eric getting his own storylines.
It's not that I don't want Eric getting his own storylines. I don't want Eric losing his character. I don't want Eric losing the sage adult character that he is. But he is a kid, so he deserves some drama, I guess.
Dan and Blair were the few bright spots of the episode. Everyone else seemed to be sleepwalking through the episode.
Yes. Yeah, very much. Very zombie episode.
4 movies together. Secret morning chats. Are Dan and Blair dating?
Does sound like it. I don't think they know it.
Ben is bad news. What happened to Juliet and their mom? Like, they weren't even there when he got out of jail.
Yeah. Yeah, no one... His sister that was, like, ready to ditch him anyway. And, yeah, that's really funny.
Chuck is boring.
Yeah.
Serena is mad at Damien for dealing Juliet drugs, but not at Juliet or Ben for using those drugs on her.
Yep, that was interesting.
Why is Lily giving Ben a lump sum bad, but Rufus giving him a place to live good?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
You're still giving him something of monetary value, Rufus.
Yes. Yeah. But
In
it's
fact,
not coming.
it's worse because now you're fucking with your own son.
You're fucking with your own son, and now you've actually got this guy beholden to you. Like, you actually have power over this guy that you can take back whenever you want, which that's probably worse. Like, Lily could never take back that $30,000 that was going to be gone and spent, but you can now. You went from being here you are, no strings attached, to here you are, now you are under my thumb. So yeah, much worse.
Moving over to episode grades, I went first last time, so it's your time to go first.
D-. I almost failed this episode, but I feel like it can get worse. I feel like there are ways that this could get worse, but this episode, I hated it. I gave it a D-. I loved the only redeeming factor was the Blair and Dan stuff that probably kept it from failing.
Yeah, I wasn't as annoyed with it as you. I just thought it was mostly boring, so it went from a D- to a C with the Blair and Dan stuff.
That's fair. I feel like I've given better episodes a C. Which is why I felt like I couldn't give it a C. Yeah, D-. This is so far my least favorite episode of Gossip Girl.
Wow. Moving over to Stock Watch, who do you got going up?
Damien is going up. Ben is going up now that he is, giving sage advice and moving in with Dan. Blair's going up, keeping her internship and the way that's working out. Howie's going up because the job is working out, even if he has to find a new place. I'm going to give Rufus an up for being decent toward his kids. Towards Eric. Oh, but he gave. Never mind.
Thank you.
Never mind. He gave the fucking apartment. Trying to think if there's anyone else that should go up that was in there. Dan lost his job. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everyone going up.
For me, I had Blair going up because she was fun and kept her job. I had Dan going up even though he lost the job. I thought he did the right thing, so I thought he was the one, part of the one enjoyable storyline.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it to Dan on that. I was originally not because he lost his job, but it
was just an internship.
Yeah, you've convinced me because he did do the right thing. And
I had Ben going up because, he got a place to live. I had Howie going up because he's got a job still. I had Raina going up because she had no time for Chuck's bullshit.
Yeah, I should have Raina going up too. I knew there was one I was forgetting.
And I had Thorpe going up because these seems like he's going according to plan for him.
Yeah, he did get mentioned.
He had that meeting. He was in it too.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Meeting with Howie.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Who do you got going down?
I'm going to start with Serena for chasing Ben around and then being told you ain't shit. I'm going to Eric for falling for whatever they're putting him in with Damien now. Lily for lilying things up really badly again. Vanessa for making a stupid shitty scarf and giving it to Dan. I'm not going to send Rufus down because I think he had some redeeming things in here. So I am keeping Rufus at neutral. But I can't think of... yeah, I'm keeping Chuck neutral. I don't think he's really lost anything yet. I am going to have Nate go down for his strained relationship with his father, though. And I believe that's it.
For me, I did have Chuck going down because he got dumped.
Yeah, he got dumped, but then he kind of got undumped at the end, so I wasn't...
No, he didn't.
Well, there's like... Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He got dumped, and then he got dumped for business, too. Lily going down, obviously, because she's doing Lily shit.
Yeah.
I had Rufus going down because he was shitty to Dan and suddenly trust Ben for some reason. Eric, because, he's pretty depressed, and he's running with Damien now, which is
This might be the first time Eric's stock has gone down. I'll need to double check that, but it might be.
It's definitely has before for me.
It has. Not many. Oh yeah, there was the
when
Jenny
he tried.
shit.
Yeah, when he tried to fight against Jenny.
Yeah. It's rare though. It is rare for Eric's stock to go down. He might have. I'm gonna check the spreadsheet to see if he actually has the highest stock.
And I had Serena going down because she was an idiot all episode. Nate go down because he had a strained relationship with his dad, and finally Vanessa because she had bad fashion sense.
Because she got dissed for the scar.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Speaking of fashion sense, who do you have for best outfit?
This one was tough, but I think I'm giving it to Blair at the W party. It was nothing over the top, but it was a very classic Blair-looking outfit. I didn't find anything to really... The only other thing that kind of jumped out at all was Serena's, and I didn't really like it. So...
For me, it actually was very easy. It was Raina's slinky black dress and the black pumps.
Oh.
And her black necklace, beaded necklace.
Yeah, that was a good outfit.
That is it for segments, though. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
I will be at the Love Park Christmas Village playing some Christmas and regular music at 6 o'clock on December 9th and 5 o'clock on December 11th. So come on out, catch some music, and I'll be playing a little bit. December 27th, I have a show at Fat Lady Brewing in Manayunk. So also, please come to that. If you want details on any of these performances, check out the Discord, and I will be happy to give you more information there or on any of my socials, like Instagram or TikTok, steve.marchion, Marchion. You can find me there, and I can also give you more details on upcoming gigs.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. You can follow the podcast at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And you can find links to our Discord, our Patreon, and our subreddit on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say. Please send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. We might even have the chance to read your email here on the show and let other people know your thoughts. So please get in touch with us. Also, while you are listening, if you could hit that like, subscribe, or follow button and leave us a comment. Those comments really help our visibility in Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And finally, if you could just make us your water cooler talk, why don't you go tell your friends what you're listening to, get them to restart Gossip Girl from the beginning, and take a listen to our podcast to go along as a companion.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 4, Episode 14, Panic Roommate. The episode description reads, Blair enlists Nate's help to win over her high-strung boss, Epperly, at W Magazine. Florence and the Machine perform an acoustic version of Cosmic Love.
I like Epperly getting a longer stint. I liked Epperly. Actually, I'm going to give Epperly an up for coming back on another episode because I did enjoy her character.
Well, that won't be until next episode, so you can't get over this episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But she is one of my.
I don't like the implications of that sentence.
Of what?
Blair enlists Nate's help to win over her high-strung boss.
Oh.
So sounds like Blair's going
to
pimp Nate out.
Yeah. What?
I don't think honeypot. I think it's to just pimp him out.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying that, what else are you going to do with Nate in the scheme? We got a pretty friend. All right. That's really funny because that is some Blair shit. Gotta get her a man to get her Oh, I'm already mad now.
Until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with